Alright, what's up everybody? Today I'm just going to do another little Bond ranking video here. This one is going to be all about my favorite songs from the opening titles of each movie. I use this Sorta app once again. I ran through it a couple times. I've been thinking about this list a lot. And these were kind of my results, and a lot of it is based on I've really fallen in love with like most of these songs. So my list, besides using the app, is very much based on which songs I've kind of listened to the most still and which ones I've listened to the least. For this, I'm just going to be drinking some Elijah Craig's single barrel proof. This is a 9-year-old 125.7 proof store pick from Canyon City Liquor in Azusa. Hopefully the autofocus is picking that up. So this is a really good store pick I like. I've talked about it a couple times before. Man, first sip of the day. That hits the spot though. But yeah, Canyon City Liquor in Azusa, go check them out. Go grab yourself a bottle. And now let's jump into this list. So a couple things I have to mention. Dr. No, the first movie, the opening titles for that is really just the main Bond theme song. So I'm not including that in the list because we already know it's great. We all love the Bond theme song. I'm trying to do more of the, the actual other songs, not just the theme. Obviously, we know the theme is at the top. A couple other things is I am going to include the two instrumentals, that being From Russia with Love and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And also with that being said, I do want to give a couple honorable mentions to start. So, All the Time in the World, Louis Armstrong, also from the film On Her Majesty's Secret Service, is for sure one of the best songs in the game, in all the movies. But since that's not the kind of opening theme, I decided I'll leave that off the list. But just know that is such a beautiful piece of music and one that I still listen to regularly, and I just love it, both like the instrumental score and with Louis Armstrong's vocals. Another honorable mention I have to say is Radiohead's version of Spectre. I came across that one after seeing the movie, and at first I was like, yeah, just kind of all right, but I have really grown to fall in love with that one, and it's too bad that that didn't make the cut for the actual movie because I like it way better. And that's another one. If you haven't heard it, go find it and listen to it on YouTube. Spectre by Radiohead. But anyway, let's just go down the list now. So number 24, I've got Quantum of Solace. This is Jack White and Alicia Keys. I think it's called Another Way to Die. I just thought it was kind of fine. I've gone back and listened to it once in preparation for this list, and it just isn't one for me that I want to go back and hear more. Like their vocals are good, and there's some lines in there that I like, but it just doesn't really resonate with me that much. So that'll be last place, is the Another Way to Die, Quantum of Solace. Next up is going to be All Time High. I think this was Rita Coolidge. I forgot to write down the artist names, my bad. This is from Octopussy. This is another one that like I thought I kind of liked, but again, I just don't go back and listen to it. I think it's just kind of fine. It almost reminds me of Nobody Does It Better, but just like to me, not nearly as great. Number 22, The Man with the Golden Gun. I think this was performed by Lulu. Yeah, my bad for not writing these down. But The Man with the Golden Gun, when it first started, when I first saw the movie, I did kind of like that it had this kind of intense start and this raw kind of attitude that felt a little bit different than what we had heard leading up to this point. But it's another one that I also at the same time felt was just kind of cheesy, and I've never really wanted to go back and listen to it again. And at 21, I've got For Your Eyes Only. I think this was Sheena Easton. This is one of those kind of soft ballad ones. Sometimes it's cool to go back and listen to, and there's aspects of it that are kind of catchy, but it's not one I go back to regularly. I do think it's pretty cool that it's the one Bond opening where the artist is in the actual, opening Maurice Binder title graphics, and that the opening of the movie is, if I remember correctly, literally the music video they use for the song. So I think that's kind of neat, but overall the song is just kind of fine. Next up is Die Another Day, Madonna. Now, I had said initially that this song was awful, and when that movie first started, once we got past the opening scene, which I thought was okay despite the CGI, when the song started, it just was so kind of out there, and to me dated the movie and felt very much like, yep, it is 2002 and this is where we're at now. And I don't know, it just seemed a little too out of character. Not that they haven't done that kind of thing before, but I really didn't care for it. But I have, for the sake of writing a list, gone back and listened to it more, and it kind of grew on me and became more and more catchy. So I it just kind of jumped up in the list. Initially that was last place, but that one I find that I would, you know, gun to my head, I would listen to that one before the ones prior to this list. Now after that we got Moonraker. This is Shirley Bassey. I think the last song that she sang for the series. Another one of these kind of ballad ones that somehow, I don't know if it's just the chord structure or whatever, just comes across a little cheesy to me. I can't quite explain why I feel that way. But this is another one that's kind of gone up in my ranking, honestly. It's maybe because I'm reading the novel right now, Moonraker. I've been putting on the score. Every time I read one of the books I like to get on YouTube, I find like the score, like the suite for the movie, and then sometimes I'll listen to that in the background while I'm reading the book, where it's all just the instrumentals. So maybe that, you know, has kind of encouraged me to move it up. But yeah, it's been in my head a bit lately. Definitely not my favorite. It's kind of down there, but it's okay. Next is Spectre, and this is the one they use in the movie by Sam Smith. There is something to that, like, starting melody, the instrumental, the strings, that feels very classic Bond, and I like the kind of melancholy piano coming in. And I'm not familiar with this artist, but I do think he's a great singer in this song, and it just felt like a good match for the modern Bond. So yeah, this one's okay. I do, again, prefer the Radiohead version quite a bit more to that. So once again, honorable mention, like the Radiohead would be like pretty high on the list for me. So check that out if you haven't heard it. Up next, I believe this is number 17. I'm actually gonna switch these. So on my list, I have Tomorrow Never Dies ahead of this, but in 17, I'm gonna put Tomorrow Never Dies because I definitely like World's Not Enough more. So switching it up right now, the Tomorrow Never Dies will be next at 17. Sheryl Crow. I do need to go back and listen to the Katie Lang Surrender song that a lot of people say should have been the opening track for the movie, but it wasn't. It's the end credits, I believe, and I do remember liking that one as well. The something about the Tomorrow Never Dies Sheryl Crow song just seemed kind of fine to me initially. It has grown over time, but it's another one that just feels maybe too much of its era, which I guess you could say about all the songs. But yeah, anyway, Tomorrow Never Dies, pretty good. Now up next is 16. I have Thunderball. This is one I go back and forth about, where the kind of melody na 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 is like in my head all the time. I don't know why, it's always that bit. And Tom Jones sings this one, and I think it's all right. It's another one that's kind of very much of its era, which I'll stop saying because that's all of these songs, let's be real. And I do like this one. It's, again, very on the nose with lyrics and whatever, but it just doesn't have the same edge and maybe gravitas as some of the other ones that are coming later in the list. So at 15, I've got No Time to Die. This is Billie Eilish, the last song. This is another really nice kind of dark ballad that I don't listen to too often, but when I do, I'm like, man, this is a really good song. I just love the kind of melancholy instrumental. It makes me think of that, you know, that shot when Bond puts, you know, what's her name on the train, and, you know, you get these kind of Dr. No little dot graphics again that remind you of the original movie. And I don't know, I came to really dig this one. I like the style of the music video, the simple black and white. Clearly they have some kind of pro mist filter on the lens, so you get like a lot of halation. It just has this very classic Hollywood look that I like as well. But yeah, that's a good song. Now at 14, The World Is Not Enough, Garbage. I don't have too much to say about this one other than I like it. You know, the chorus really kind of sticks with me, you know, that kind of chord progression I dig. So we have that at number 14. Number 13, License to Kill, Gladys Knight. This is one that I kind of, it goes on a little too long and I don't care for the chorus. What I like about this one the most is the way the song starts. It reminds me so much of Goldfinger. And if you listen to my podcast episode on this movie, I put the two clips side by side. Like, I guess it's the same interval, like the musical interval. So I think just that to start with just makes me think Goldfinger and feels classic Bond. There's also still this 80s quality to it. The vocals are really great. And yeah, it's a banger of a song to start. I don't quite care for the chorus, like I mentioned before, but overall a good song. And it definitely reminds me of it just, you know, reminds me, it takes me back to that, you know, that time period. So at number 12, I have Live and Let Die. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name right now. Paul McCartney and the Wings. Live and Let Die. I always forget that this was a Bond song first. I hadn't heard it in so long. And when I put the movie on, I didn't even think about the fact that this was going to be the song that comes on. And it blew me away in those opening credits. And I like that. Excuse me, I like that whole sequence too. I just remember the face, and then you hit the big moment impact where the guitars come in and the face turns into the skull with the flames and all that. I thought was cool, and it has this really intense kind of driving forward momentum with the strings when they all come in. So Live and Let Die, that's a good one. At 11, I'm surprised this felt kind of low, but Goldfinger, this one, at first I didn't care for, and I mentioned this in the podcast episode, I just don't like that kind of brassy wham wham sound with like trumpets and those mutes and all that, and it's maybe kind of show tuney or something. Initially I didn't care for that, but this is another one that really grew on me, and it's just a classic Bond song. Shirley Bassey kills it as always, and yeah, Goldfinger, I mean, it's a good one. As far as that style goes, I think this is as good as it gets, maybe for me anyway. Up next at 10, A View to a Kill. This one was Duran Duran. One of those pieces of music that's very much like, yep, we're in the 80s now, and we're in that point. And I just love it so much too. I love that movie. I know a lot of people hate it. I like that movie. I love this song. I can only imagine that this was like a pretty big hit when it came out. And this is one of those cool Bond songs where I can easily see this being played. Like, I used to work at a bar in LA, and this is definitely the type of song they would like throw on, I can see, and people would dance to it and all that. It's just kind of a banger song. And I wouldn't be surprised if a DJ did throw it on at some time and I just wasn't aware of the song yet. Now, number 9, one of my all-time favorites. Kind of surprised in my ranking this fell kind of low, but now in the top 10, this is where it's really hard to kind of choose. They're all great, but this is Diamonds Are Forever. Shirley Bassey, maybe one of the songs I listen to the most. I just love this, the way it starts with the kind of what is it, like the percussion keys, and it's just a great song. Diamonds Are Forever. I love her voice. It's just so great in this one. The instrumental is so great. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I know a lot of people don't, but great song and a good movie. Number 8, The Living Daylights, Aha. Another one of these kind of 80s club banger type songs that, you know, you can still throw this on at a bar at like a dance party type of situation, and I think people would get down to it. Living Daylights, Aha. Just another fun song. Great chorus, great kind of vibe to it. It has this kind of uplifting vibe, which is funny, but I really like that one. Now here we go, number 7, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Okay, this is the instrumental one. I love this. I listen to this regularly. I thought it was interesting when I first saw the movie, because up to this point I thought we were in the mode of we're gonna have a singer now and like a vocal kind of tune with the different artists to open each movie, and in On Her Majesty's they went back to the instrumental, and it's a great John Barry theme, and I love that they bring it back, and I think it's in the trailer for Spectre. I know they bring it back kind of low-key when Bond is talking to M in No Time to Die, and it is another one that I just like to listen to a lot. It's such a great opening theme and instrumental, and works so well for that movie. So up next I've got The Spy Who Loved Me. So this is really Nobody Does It Better by Carly Simon. Another favorite. Absolutely love this one. Listen to it all the time. The chorus, I just love everything about it. And then to go from that ski jump, that amazing ski jump in the movie, like straight into this song, and is just such a great, powerful moment. Absolutely adore it. And number 5, I've got You Only Live Twice. This is Nancy Sinatra. Just another favorite. And I like that, how it has this kind of, I don't even know how you would explain it in the music, but it clearly has this kind of Eastern musical style influence, seeing as how the movie is set in Japan. So I really like this one, of course. I said in the podcast, and I still think this, I'm surprised more people haven't sampled it, especially hip-hop artists. I know a couple people have. I think CeeLo Green, and there are some other artists. There's a song called Millennium I think I listened to, but yeah, I'm just surprised that that opening little melody isn't used more, but maybe that's a good thing. Anyway, You Only Live Twice. So now number 4, another instrumental track. This is From Russia with Love. I just love this theme. Digga-digga-dun, digga-digga-dun. And then we go into this nice kind of melodic theme that has this forward momentum, and you know, the brass comes in and the strings, and also has this kind of romantic vibe to it. Great instrumental piece. I know there's a version that has vocals as well, but I just, yeah, really dig the instrumental version of it. I don't really listen to the one with the vocals ever. Number 3, this, before I watched all the movies, for sure would have been considered my number 1, and even before I got into the films, I just found myself listening to this a lot. This is Skyfall by Adele. Easily one of the best. Again, has this almost kind of dark, melancholy tone to it, but has a lot of gravitas. She is such an amazing singer, and I love the way this one really incorporates the Bond theme and the chord progressions. I mean, most, if not all of these songs do that, but this one I just is so pitch perfect to me in that regard. I just love Skyfall by Adele. And one that I didn't think, number 2, would come up in the list so much until recently when I rewatched the movie, is You Know My Name, Chris Cornell, Casino Royale. More of the kind of rock song, but I listen to this all the time now, and I just think it's such a fun song. Again, I love the kind of chord progression. It incorporates some of the Bond in there. It's got this great drive and forward momentum. It's a really fun song. And now number 1, just like my movie ranking, Goldeneye, Tina Turner. Again, pitch perfect vocals, instrumental, the kind of ebb and flow of it, the whole ride of the song. And again, the way it incorporates the James Bond theme into the instrumental is so brilliantly, and yeah, just a banger of a song. And there was one time where I was at karaoke with my girlfriend and some people, and someone actually sang Goldeneye at karaoke, and they did a really killer job at it. It was really fun to listen to. Someone who was like actually good at singing just like nailed the song. But anyway, that's my ranking, everybody. Leave a comment, let me know what your favorite James Bond kind of theme songs are and where they sit with you. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Cheers.